welcome to my channel. I don't like saying that, but I mean, I don't really know how else to start these videos, so welcome. Are you into it? Today's video is going to be talking about my pregnancy, my birth story, and then I think I'll get into a little bit about postpartum. I'm just going to say it now. I'm going to be really honest and just like say things, like I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to say my full birth experience, postpartum, not the fun stuff. So I'm just saying that now. Okay, so my pregnancy. So we found out that we were pregnant right away. And because of my miscarriage last time, I had a bunch of ultrasounds done early on. I feel like most people have like 4, 5, maybe a few more ultrasounds like their entire pregnancy. I feel like 5 even at the most. I think I had 12 ultrasounds done the whole time. Not even counting the ultrasounds to like see at the end if she had flipped, just because they wanted to make sure that everything was going well. And then I did have like a couple scares. My pregnancy was super easy. I had no morning sickness, like not once, which was super awesome because I hear that that really takes a toll on people. So I was really lucky with that. I didn't have anything. I think the only thing, I really don't have much to share about my pregnancy because it was so easy. Like I worked until my last day of work. I was 39 weeks one day and I was fine. My feet and legs started to swell the week of my due date. So like I stopped working that Friday. Monday they got huge. My body was just like ready to have her. But I had no serious problems. The one thing that I would say is that at 20 weeks, and you guys, if you follow me for a couple months now, you will have known this. At 20 weeks, I had like my 20-week scan, where they like check baby, check everything's good, and they told me that she had a club foot, which I mean, I was sad about, but it wasn't a big deal. If she was gonna have a birth defect, that's the one that I would have wanted her to have, because it doesn't affect anything besides her foot. And then at 25 weeks, I had another ultrasound done and they told me I didn't. So like it was literally just like a couple weeks of thinking she had clubfoot, and then we were all good. And now we have this perfect little baby, huh? I don't mean for this to be a crop top. I don't. And I really didn't have any like cravings really. No for food aversions. I mean, I could not eat salmon. Salmon grossed me out. But that's still even now, so I don't know. Are you happy, baby? So yeah, my pregnancy, super easy. It was great. I honestly loved being pregnant. I loved feeling her kick. I did have an anterior placenta, so I didn't feel her kick until like around 25 weeks. But then she was just a move-in. You're just a move-in. So if you have like other personal things about my pregnancy, you can ask me. I really didn't have any I had nothing really go on. So yeah, that's all about pregnancy. Oh, the sign. I'm gonna get into my birth story now. I posted a little bit about it on my Instagram stories a couple months ago. She's only 2 months, so I guess a couple weeks ago. But I'm gonna kind of get into more detail about it. And so my last week of pregnancy, like from 39 weeks, I don't know, a couple days after I became 39 weeks, my feet and my hands started to really itch. What? You wanna stand? They started to really itch. And I was just like, okay, like, it's not a big deal. Like, my feet are itching, but it's no big deal. So that was like a week that I let that go on. And then I had reached 40 weeks, still didn't have her, no signs of labor. She had never dropped. I'm just gonna say this now, like even once I had her, she did not drop until the second I had her, and then she dropped. But so like there was no signs that she was coming. I didn't have any back labor. I was in no pain whatsoever. Like she was not coming. She was snug as a bug in there, huh? So my feet and my hands were super, super itchy. So when I was 40 weeks, 2 days, I finally like Googled it. I was like itchy feet while pregnant, or itchy feet 40 weeks pregnant. And I'm so happy. And it said that a small percentage of women get this thing called cholestasis in their late pregnancy. It's not very common, it's super rare, but it can cause stillbirth. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my on-call doctor. So I called the doctor, and she was like, we can have you go to Quest Labs, or we can have you go to the labs and do your blood work and all that, but the results are gonna come back for a week. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be 41 weeks pregnant at that point, and they'll induce me anyways. And she was like, so she was like, let's bring you into the hospital, and we can pull baby up and see if baby's doing good. So I'm like, okay, like nothing's, like I'm gonna be fine. So I didn't bring any of my bags. I brought nothing. Like literally, my mom and my dad were here for the weekend, and so they drove me and Matt to the hospital, and they took me back into the little room to see, you know, how things are doing. But only Matt was allowed to go back with me in there. And even like I was texting my mom, I was like, I want to go get ice cream after this. Like we're next to an ice cream place. Like I was not staying there, and I knew that. Like even when I walked in, I was like, I'm here because I have itchy feet, and they were like, that's why you're here. Like come on. So anyways, they pulled baby up, and baby looked good. Or Josie looked good. He looked like a little old man. Josie looked good. They checked to see how far dilated I was, and I was still a 2 centimeters dilated, and I was past 40 weeks pregnant, only 2 centimeters dilated. And so then the doctor who I had talked to on the phone came, and she was like, the results aren't going to come back for a week. It's your call if you want us to induce you or not. It can cause stillborn. She was like, I don't want you to leave and something happen to the baby. She was like, if we do induce you, it can be a long process. You might not have her for 3 or 4 more days. And I was like, okay. And she highly recommended me getting induced. So I was like, okay, I'll get induced. So we got admitted, which blew my mind that we were actually staying and we were having a baby. So we got induced, and they put me in the room, and they set me all up. They didn't start Pitocin yet, but they gave me, I don't even know. I think they gave me something to soften my cervix because it was still super, I don't know. But they gave me something to soften my cervix. And so we were there at 2 o'clock. I think we got admitted at 2 p.m. And then we were just awaiting. It was just a waiting game. So that evening, I mean, I was doing a lot of walking. I was bouncing. I was doing a lot because I did not want to be there for 4 days. I did not want a C-section. I did not want those things. So we were doing a bunch of stuff, and they had me hooked up, and they could hear her heartbeat. I was having contractions like every couple of minutes. I could not feel them at all. No, I didn't have any drugs. Like they were like intense contractions, but I could not feel them. Like even the nurse was surprised that I couldn't feel my contractions. And so that went on all night. I just kept, in the middle of the night, I would get up and walk, and then I'd sleep. And then at one point the nurse came in, and she had me do stretches, or yeah, she's helped me stretch that we're supposed to like get things going. And I was feeling good. I think I still wasn't dilated, but I was really determined to get things going. So I let this nurse, we were stretching for probably 45 minutes, and then we were walking, and then I decided to take a nap. At like around 6 a.m., I was sleeping, and my water broke, which is the grossest thing ever. Like, ugh, it's gross. But so my water broke, and I didn't know, it was just everywhere while I'm in bed. So like I went to the bathroom, it's still coming out. It's like, it's not what I thought. It's like not in the movies. But so my water breaks, And like almost immediately, as soon as my water breaks, I get like intense, super painful contractions every 30 seconds. Like I could not go to the bathroom. I could not stand, like I could not talk. Like they were consistent. I could not. So that was the first time I had ever been in pain. So of course my nurse was like, you don't need anything. Like you're just being a baby. And I was like, no, I need something. Like this is intense. So she didn't want to give me the epidural first. So she gave me pain meds. Did absolutely nothing. So then I want the epidural. And she was like, I'm going to give you the walking epidural where you can still walk around, because once you get the epidural, you're done. You're in bed the rest of the time, and that if I got it too early, it could lead to a C-section. So I got the walking epidural. It did nothing. So like 10 minutes later, the lady came back and gave me the full epidural, and like things were great. I couldn't feel anything. They were going good. They did check my cervix again at that point, and I was still only 3 centimeters dilated, but I was contracting a lot, and they were big ones. So then a few hours passed, nothing was happening. I was just laying in bed, super happy. Around 12, I think, my nurse, I started to feel my feet again. And like I could feel things, and I did not want to feel a thing. I wanted to make sure that when this baby came out, I was not feeling it. So when I started to feel my feet, I freaked out. I called my nurse in, and I was like, I can feel my feet. Like, you need to give me more. And she was like, well, let's see where you're at. So she checked my cervix, and within like 3 hours, I had gone from 3 centimeters to 10 centimeters. She was like, you're ready to push, which freaked me the heck out. Like I went a little nuts, but it was happening. So they started getting things ready, and then I don't know. And then I started pushing, and I pushed for, I think just an hour. So I pushed for an hour. So, and if you have been following me on Instagram, you know this too, because I just post everything about every little single detail about my life. But she wasn't up, like she was head down, but instead of her head facing the back, her head was facing forward, like this. It was facing forward down. So, and they knew that that would be an issue. It was like a higher chance of C-section, a higher chance of like a more intense, painful labor. But they never checked me again. So like, I don't know. But so when I was pushing, they were like, oh, we can see your head, we can see your head, you gotta keep pushing. And they kept saying like, this is the baldest baby I've ever seen. Like there is not one speck of hair on her head. And I was like, well, that's okay, like I don't really care. So then I'm pushing and pushing and pushing. And then they realized that, so like they thought they were looking at right here. They realized that they were looking at her forehead. So like when she came out, normally the top of the head comes out, her face came out. Like my family say they saw her eye first, like, which was weird. And at that point, like my doctor knew that he had to get her out. I think the cord was wrapped around her neck as well. And he was like, I need to get her out. So this is where I'm not gonna hold back, I'm just gonna say what happened. He cut from the front to the back of me. He cut all the way down, and he got her out, and she was good. That's the end of the story for her. Not like, I don't mean that. It's not like the end of the line. But she was out, she was here, she was healthy, she was good. She was born. That's when things get kind of rough for me. So they got her out, and then at that point, it wouldn't have even mattered if I had wanted the epidural or not. They gave, because of what he did, they gave me the same amount of drugs as you get when you have a C-section. So, it took him, I think 2.5 hours to stitch me back up. We were there for a long time. And the whole time, like I was holding her, but I was like shaking, like I was white. Like it was not a good time. I couldn't feel anything, but it was just like it was rough. So then like 2.5 hours later, he's done stitching me up. They're like, we haven't put the catheter in. We want to see if you can go to the bathroom. If you can go to the bathroom, you don't have to put the catheter in. And so I'm like, heck yeah, like I'm going to the bathroom. So they slowly get me up. Not they. My nurse slowly gets me up and she like walks with me to the bathroom, and I sit on the toilet, and like immediately I knew something was wrong, and I think I said that to my nurse. I'm like, something's not right, and I immediately blacked out and started seizing and like having a seizure. And then when I wake up, like there's all these nurses around me and they're trying to get me up and they're like saying my name and screaming my name, and so they like sit me up and I'm like dead body, and they get me in the wheelchair and they wheel me back out and they put me in the bed, and then it's like, what the heck, like that was weird. But so they still didn't put a catheter in me, and I'm like, don't, like I want to try and pee again later, like you don't know that I can't pee, I just had a seizure. So then that happens. They then transfer me to the high risk maternity section because of all that happened. I lost 3 liters of blood, which is a ton of blood. Like you should not lose that much blood. So they had like talked with me about a blood transfusion, but they were just gonna see. So then I'm in high risk and all's going well. I mean, as soon as they get me to high risk, they switch me beds. They like pick me up and move me, and I just start vomiting. And they're like, okay, well, we'll see how things go. And then like the night goes on, I still like, you know, they say, and I was so looking forward to this. They say that the first meal you eat after you have a baby is the best meal of your life. I couldn't eat, so like I ate something eventually, like obviously I'm eating. I ate something eventually, but like I never experienced that. It was rough. But so every time I got up, I would vomit. Every time I'd eat, I would vomit. It wasn't working. And then finally at 2 a.m. the next morning, so 12 hours had passed, and I tried going to the bathroom and I just vomited everything, and I think I did pass out again. And she was like, I think you need a blood transfusion. And so they like get my doctor on the phone, and they're like, he's like going through all this stuff, and like I didn't even know what a blood transfusion was. People are like, oh my god, you had a blood transfusion? I'm like, is that a big deal? But so 12 hours later, they finally give me a blood transfusion, which makes sense. I think they should have right away because of how much blood I lost. And then they give me a blood transfusion, and I'm healed. I'm able to eat, I'm able to go to the bathroom, and I have a sweet little baby. So it was worth it, but it was pretty intense. So that's like the main part of this video. Pretty intense labor, but I'm so glad that I got this sweet little babe out of it. Huh? Is that you? Is that you? Yeah? You're so cute. Really, it's not meant to be a crop top. Maybe it is. I didn't mean for it to be a crop top. So postpartum, I don't know if I have a lot to say. It really was rough. Like, I could barely walk. Like, walking was excruciating. Sitting, like, you have to, because I ripped all the way, like, I ripped vagina to butt all the way, like, sitting like this. Like, I had to feed her, so I had to sit like this, but it was not easy at all. I was in so much pain, and I was bleeding a lot. Honestly, so she'll be 9 weeks in 2 days, and I'm like like yesterday, I was in pain. Just now starting to not bleed. So like, it was really rough. They give you the giant pads, the giant underwear. I'm not gonna lie, I heard people say that they hate those giant underwear. I took all the underwear that I could. I think they're the most comfortable thing ever. I have them, like I have like, not kidding, 20 pairs, and once I'm done bleeding, because I'm still bleeding 9 weeks later. Once I'm done bleeding, I plan to wear them to bed, because I think they're the most comfortable thing ever. I don't know what people are talking about. I don't know if they're trying to be like sexy in the hospital. I don't know. But I'm excited to wear them to bed. But yeah, it did take a while for me to feel better. Like I can now walk, I can now sit, and every now and then I'm in pain, but like I'm good. Are you hungry? Are you getting hungry? And then also, like, I did another thing I posted about, because I just post about everything. Anxiety, like, and I only go to work by myself, and then other than that, Matt's with me, but like a lot of anxiety about leaving the house, like a lot of anxiety about people coming over, my body, like that is something that, like, I know postpartum depression, and I was like ready for that, but it wasn't even postpartum depression. It was just like dealing with all this change and all your body, and then like having a baby, and I was not ready for that. My mom was here for basically the whole month after she was born, which, like, I don't know if I could have done everything without her. I'm so grateful. But like the postpartum oh yeah, postpartum was something that I was just not expecting to be like. So if you have any questions, if you're dealing with postpartum, I still am, so I'm always here to talk. But if you have any questions about anything, pregnancy, postpartum, birth, I'm here to talk. I'm very open. I'm not like trying to hide anything. I like to talk to people. So, well, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No, you can message me. I'm just, so, whoa! So yeah, I think I'm gonna get more in the habit of doing these videos, because people have been really requesting them for me. So if you have anything you want me to make a video about, if you have any questions, like, I don't know what to make videos about. This was a requested one, so this was easy. But if you have any videos you want me to do, let me know. Yeah. Say bye, Josie. Bye, Josie. No, don't touch my arm. Don't you wave my arm. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you like. If you did like it, you can, this just feels so weird saying I'm not one of these people, but you can subscribe. I don't know how to talk. So